is Rachel Wilson, and I'm with Kentucky Agriculture and Environment in the Classroom. And today we have a really special treat. We have Miss Cheryl Burks McCarthy, who is an Extension Assistant for all programs at the Davis County Extension Office. So welcome to you, Cheryl. Cheryl, if you wouldn't mind, tell us how long you've been utilizing some of the resources that's been provided to you from Kentucky Agriculture and Environment in the Classroom.
Sure. So I began my career with Extension in January of 22. Shortly after that, I had the opportunity to look through some resources that were here at the office. I was able to attend one of the Kentucky Farm Bureau teacher workshops last summer, where I was able to gain some more information and see some of the other resources that are available. It's a real privilege to be able to have the position that I have, where I can assist with all programs, because I'm able to work with my five agents that I have here in the office, and also share those resources that they have available to them.
So, how often do you think that you are in a classroom or in a position where you can share and utilize some of these resources?
That really depends on the classes that I have set up. I do a lot of 4-H programming, so there are ways to incorporate that into leadership with 4-H. I do a lot of cooking classes. So of course that's a wonderful opportunity to share with kids where their food comes from. A lot of times I ask them and they say Kroger or Walmart. So it's a great way to help them kind of navigate how things get from the farm literally to their table. It gives me a great opportunity to work with some of my local farmers. Jim Gillis with Hillview Farms Meats here in Owensboro is one of my favorite humans to work with. I kind of take him with me when I do a seed to plate program. And within that time frame, he will actually come and cook for my kids. So they have the opportunity to talk to him about the farm, about his brick and mortar store, the work that he does at the farmers market, and then just being a great community partner.
Well, I'm sure the kids love it anytime that they're able to eat some food.
Love it. And so do I.
Yes, that's great. If you wouldn't mind, tell us about some of the resources that you have on display behind you and how you incorporate those when you visit a classroom.
Sure. So what I have on the table are this is one of my favorites, the soybean science, one of my favorites. And the reason I like it so well is that kids are able to see just within a couple of days the growth that takes place with those soybeans. And we live in this world where it's that immediate gratification. And so if they're able to see that in just a short period of time, I get wonderful feedback from parents and also the kids with that project. The pollinators, we use the large display boards numerous times. I had the opportunity to do a 12-week program at Heritage Christian School, and each week we would use a different poster. This one I really love because it talks about bees, and I have a sister-in-law and brother-in-law who have bees. And so they would actually come with me to those programs. We would use the board. They would bring in their observation hive, their bee suits, and then all the children would each get some honey to take home with them. So that was a great partnership, and also working with some other beekeepers through the Green River Beekeeper Association. And so the show pig shapes is a big hit. I love for kids to be able to actually cut those out themselves. So it works on those motor skills. So we enjoy that. This was a project that I learned at the workshop last summer, where we have the soil and they have a magnifying glass and they kind of go through and see what's in there. I added some little tiles. Some of them have letters and numbers, and it's interesting to see the kids go through there and not only see the different particles, but also try to figure out different letters and numbers that are in there. So I really love that. Um, Something that I haven't done previously, but I'm looking forward to doing, is the Kentucky Farms Feed Me. I think that that would be a wonderful way to showcase our local farmers and talk about the amazing things that they're doing. I know that Daniel Hayden is included on that, and he is going to be partnering with me for a mini ag day that I'm doing at one of my schools, along with Cecil Farms. And so, again, just another way for those kids to understand the importance and the hard work that our farmers do every day in bringing food to their tables. Some of the other resources that I have here, about these cute little flower pots. We love to plant, again, just so that kids can see the wonderful things that they can do, even if it's on a small scale. Logan's Greenhouse is a wonderful book that I recently learned about. I incorporated this as part of our LEAP program, where I took this into the school. We read the book, and it's a wonderful book about Logan, and he is planning to have a play date with his pets, and he is looking for carrots. And so we brought carrots in as a taste test, and we did the five senses with that, which is a wonderful way to, just to get them to think mindfully about some of the things that they're eating. Tales of the Dairy Godmother is a wonderful book that I love. I had the opportunity to dress up like the Dairy Godmother at our farmers market. I read the book throughout the day, and then the kids were able to make ice cream in a bag. So that was a lot of fun. So those are the only resources that I have here on the table. But again, we use all of the boards, and give the kids opportunity to, see those bright, beautiful boards. And with our 12-week ag program that we did at Heritage Christian, again, Jim Gillis came in and did a presentation. Our ag agent here, Clint Hardy, came and did a presentation on soybean. One of my 4-H agents, Cheryl Klingenpil, came in and used the boards, and we did poultry and also wheat. So those are great resources that we've been able to take advantage of.
And the Kentucky Farm Feeds Me, I know you said that you haven't started utilizing that yet, but that is going to be a wonderful resource that anyone that's going into a classroom could utilize, where students can take a virtual field trip to farms all across the state of Kentucky and really be able to learn a lot about those commodities that we produce.
Yes, I'm so excited about that. A lot of times we see resources and they show us places that we're not familiar with. And it was so nice, like I said, to see Daniel Hayden with Hayden Farms as a part of that. So we're really looking forward to it. My dream would be for us to load kids up every day of the week and take them to different farms, but that's just not always possible, just logistically. And so having that resource is going to give our kids a wonderful opportunity to see what's going on here in our state.
And all of those videos can be found on our website, along with corresponding activities for each of those field trips. And I love how Cheryl highlighted a couple of books, because books are a great way that you can go into a classroom and really start off a lesson. You could always show a video, read a book, and do a resource activity.
Yes.
Also, do you, when you're talking about ag days, let's talk about that for just a moment. Is this an ag day where you are going to a school, or is this one where students and children are coming to a farm?
So for two that I'd like and that's what we're calling a green ag day. This was a school that I was able to go and we did our relief program with first grade and second grade. We did the 12-week ag program with middle schoolers, and then they wanted me to come and do something for third grade kids. So we came up with the idea of a mini ag day. One of my focuses with that was to bring in some of our 4-H club leaders in hopes of getting more kids involved into our 4-H clubs. So it's a mini ag day. One of our club leaders is going to come. I think she's going to bring some animals. I'm not really sure what she's bringing. But then Daniel Hayden will be there, and he's going to talk about the feeder calf program. And because of this connection with that school, we have two students who were not familiar with the feeder calf program that are now participating actively in that. And so we're really excited about that. And then Suzanne Cecil White she's an amazing person. And so she's going to have her farm there representing, and we're going to do something fun with them. So that's on a small scale. A larger program that we have planned for the fall will be for our city schools, and they will actually travel on campus. If you're not familiar with our office, we're located on the back side of Owensboro Community and Technical College. And so I have a meeting in 2 weeks with President Scott Williams, and he and I are going to hammer out the details. And our hope is to get those kids from our city schools over on campus at OCTC and do a big program with them. Possibly bringing in the Southland Dairy classroom, some of our local farmers, local agriculture related businesses to be a part of this, and just have a really nice day. It's a beautiful campus. And I mentioned this to our new superintendent of Owensboro Public Schools, and she said, "When do you want to do it?" So I have a meeting with her on Wednesday to just kind of hammer some things out, and then a meeting with Scott in the next couple of weeks to see how this is all going to happen. I've got some great ideas, and we're really excited about that partnership with Extension, with Owensboro Public Schools, and then with our amazing community college here.
I love that you brought up the partnerships because it sounds like you have a lot within your community. Can you kind of talk about how you develop those partnerships, particularly with the farmers in your community?
Sure. So I'm not from Owensboro. I moved here a little over 6 years ago. Met an amazing man who is from Owensboro. So moved here in 2018, and we got married that October. And so just being in the community, I quickly joined the Chamber of Commerce as an ambassador, which gave me a great opportunity to do some networking, shaking some hands, talking to people about the wonderful programs that we do here, some that they were familiar with, some that they weren't. So that gave me a great in to meeting my farm people. I was sharing with someone the other day that growing up, I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' home. And my grandfather was a farmer. And when I was young, I didn't really understand what he did, but I knew that he took great pride in it. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I understood the importance of what he did. And like I said, the pride that he showed in his work. And so that's something that has resonated with me. It's something within Extension. There are so many avenues and so many wonderful things that I get to do. And I feel like agriculture is calling me. So anytime I have the opportunity to meet with our farmers, because a lot of them come into our office, we live out in the west end of town, so we're surrounded by farmers. One of my brother-in-laws is a farmer. So I'm baptized in it, and I'm proud of that. And it's something that I want to do more of, because I understand the importance, and the wonderful things that they do. I had the opportunity to become a cohort to the Kentucky Rural and Urban Exchange. I don't know if you're familiar with RUCS, but it's an amazing program that brings people from across the state together to talk about issues that they're facing, share resources. And so, being with Extension, it gave me the opportunity to share not only the wonderful programs that we do with Extension, but there are also 120 extension offices around the state. So we want to make sure that people understand that we're a valuable resource. One of the sessions was here in Owensboro, and I was able to chair an agriculture panel. And that was really wonderful, just to hear from some of our local farmers on some of their challenges, some of their victories, and just to share with adults. We talk so much about sharing with children, the hard work that goes into being a farmer, but sometimes our adults need to be reminded of that as well. So that gave me a wonderful opportunity to really promote our local farmers. I'm very fortunate that one of my farmers lives not too far from me and has a local vegetable stand, so I can just stop by there on my way into work or after I leave work, which is very handy. So just any interaction that I can have with them to say thank you, and show them that I appreciate them, and then being able to share with other people the importance of the hard work that goes into the things that they do.
Find a lot of times that farmers are very willing to share that with the community.
Yes, I think that of course, they understand the hard work that they put into it. But for them, it's not about that. It's about supplying nourishment for our communities. And they are usually very willing to come with me and talk to kids, and have those meaningful conversations. And I'm greatly appreciative of their work.
And one last thing before we go, Cheryl, if you were to give advice on what lesson or what resource would be really great for a first-time person going into a classroom, where do you think would be a really great place for them to start?
So, of course, the website, for those valuable resources, shop the store. I really love the soybean science activity. I think that that's a great way to introduce the importance of soil and what it takes to grow wonderful things here. The posters are an amazing resource. There's so much information on them that leads to additional conversations. So those would be my first two. And if they had the opportunity to attend one of the teacher workshops, definitely recommend that they attend those.
So, if you aren't familiar with soybeans as well, the lesson has a PowerPoint that goes with it that gives lots of background information about soybean production, particularly in Kentucky. So, if you don't feel like you yourself have a great knowledge of soybeans, that's okay, because the resource has you covered with that. And also, if you're interested in attending the Kentucky Farm Bureau Regional Teacher Workshops, there are going to be 6 of those held throughout the state this summer, starting in June. So please make sure that you visit our website as well as the Kentucky Farm Bureau website to find out more about that. Cheryl, we would really like, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes.
Okay. I was going to mention that the website also gives great talking points and information that you can, when you're having a conversation with the teacher, how this is important and how this relates to the curriculum that they're already teaching, and how you can go in and add to what they're already doing. It's a great resource for that as well.
Yes, the website does have lots of resources. I would encourage anyone to look through that. You can search curriculum by grade level and topic, depending upon what class you're going into. Cheryl, we would really like to say thank you for your time today. You are an inspiration across the state, and we appreciate you being an advocate for agriculture and sharing the passion that you have for this industry.